The Army Warrant Officer is a technical expert, combat leader, trainer, and advisor. Through progressive levels of expertise in assignments, training, and education, the Warrant Officer administers, manages, maintains, operates, and integrates Army systems and equipment across unified land operations. Warrant Officers are innovative integrators of emerging technologies, dynamic teachers, confident warfighters, and developers of specialized teams of soldiers. They support a wide range of Army missions throughout their career. Warrant Officers in the Army are assessed with specific levels of technical ability. They refine their technical expertise and develop their leadership and management skills through tiered progressive assignment and education. Warrant Officer candidates are assessed according to the needs of the Army and their possession of specific levels of technical skills. After being selected for Warrant Officer training, they must then complete the Warrant Officer Candidate School known as WOCS at the Warrant Officer Career College, Fort Novosel, Alabama.
Warrant Officer Candidate School is a 5-week course where we continue to assess each candidate on their leadership abilities and competencies. Warrant Officer Candidate School focuses on leader development, and candidates serve in various student leadership positions throughout the course and will receive feedback on their performance.
During their WOCS training, faculty and staff members assess each candidate's mental capacity, emotional strength, and physical stamina to determine if they can meet and maintain the stringent standards necessary for them to effectively serve with dynamic operating environments in which the Army performs its missions.
Being a warrant officer means being knowledgeable in your field. It means being a leader of moral and ethical character. It means being a part of something bigger than yourself. It means being a member of a team.
The United States Army Warrant Officer Candidate School provides qualified military personnel an opportunity to become Army Warrant Officers in continued service to the nation and our Army. To qualify, applicants must meet specific mental, moral, and physical requirements to serve as an Army Warrant Officer.
Upon completion of Warrant Officer Candidate School, graduates will have gained a new level of confidence in their leadership abilities. They have learned to adapt to austere environments through mental agility, problem-solving skills, and teamwork.
WOCS teaches candidates the fundamentals of leadership and how to be a leader of character. Candidates are taught to lead by personal example and to consistently serve as role models. When soldiers arrive to WOCS, they must be physically and mentally prepared. One of the key aspects of being here is learning how to be resilient. This school focuses on making leaders of character and intellect.
A warrant officer is a multifunctional professional and is prepared to provide guidance and technical expertise to ensure the mission is accomplished. Warrant Officer Candidate School lays the foundations for new warrant officers, preparing them for the operational environment. WOCS affords the candidate the ability to hone their skills by building on their knowledge and previous experiences through leadership development and assessments.
Warrant officers are technical and tactical experts in their duty assignments, possessing a high degree of specialization, knowledge, and skill. They command maritime vessels, special units, and tasked organizational operational elements. There are no plateaus during this course. Candidates are being assessed on their performance from the minute they start to the day they graduate.
Warrant Officer Candidate School provides candidates with a leadership foundation to build upon and assist their potential as company-grade officers.
Warrant Officer Candidate School will last 5 to 7 weeks depending on individual qualifications and status. Training focuses on leadership development, the history of warrant officers, and their role in the Army operational environment. Candidates will participate in field exercises while attending the candidate school, as well as daily physical readiness training to include marches up to a distance of 10 kilometers or 6.2 miles. Upon completion of the candidate school, graduates are appointed as an officer in the United States Army at the grade of Warrant Officer 1. A select few graduates will earn special recognition and honors. Graduates then progress to the Warrant Officer Basic course at various Army installations depending on their specialty and branch. Locations for duty after completion of the basic course can include Army assignments both in the United States and overseas.
At First Warrant Officer Company, we take great pride in training, educating, and equipping candidates to become warrant officers within all 3 components of the Army. Upon graduation from Warrant Officer Candidate School, candidates are expected to be the Army's premier land force technical experts and system integrators. These newly appointed warrant officers will be prepared to succeed as technical experts and trusted advisors.
All warrant officers have the opportunity to progress in rank and responsibilities through promotion and additional career paths. Warrant officers make up the technical foundation of the United States Army. They hold a great deal of responsibility that includes leading and training soldiers, organizing and advising missions, integrating, maintaining, and operating complex Army systems. They're the horsepower behind the organization, the leaders that commanders rely on to ensure mission success. Talk to your career counselor or an Army in-service recruiter about taking your skills to the next level. Highly specialized and highly committed, the Warrant Officer Candidate School of Fort Novosel, Alabama.
Good morning, Colonel McHugh, Mr. Valentine, Certified Napoli, Certified Godwin, Certified Canals, distinguished guests, senior warrant officers, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our Commandant, Colonel Kevin E. McHugh, welcome to the appointment and graduation ceremony for Warrant Officer Class 2507, Purple Hearts. Following the remarks this morning, the company commander, CW4 DeCastro J. Bennett, will administer the oath of office. Once the oath is complete, each member of the class is a warrant officer. The only remaining event is the pinning of the warrant officer. Family members and guests are invited to assist in this part of the ceremony. As your soldier's name is called, please feel free to come forward to conduct the pinning. At any time during the ceremony, you may come forward to take some photographs. Please be mindful of other guests. Do not block their views and promptly return to your seats. Please stand for the entrance of the official party, the invocation, and the singing of the national anthem.
Will you please pray with me according to your faith? Let us pray. Almighty God, we gather today in your presence to celebrate the accomplishments of these warrant officer graduates. As they take on new responsibilities and step into their roles as technical leaders, we ask for your blessings upon them. Grant them the strength to lead with integrity, the wisdom to make sound decisions, and the courage to face the challenges ahead. We thank you for their dedication and their perseverance throughout this journey, and for the support of their families, friends, and mentors who have stood by them. We ask for your protection over these officers, their comrades, and their loved ones. May they walk confidently in their calling, always mindful of the oath they have sworn and the freedom they defend. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Chaplain Hicks and Ms. Olenek. Please be seated. It is indeed a privilege to be associated with this outstanding group of soldiers. Warrant Officer Candidate School is a challenging 5-week course where we test each candidate to ensure they meet the moral, mental, and physical requirements to become warrant officers. Regardless of the environment, character, competence, and commitment form the foundation of successful leaders. Honor, discipline, and a conviction to adhere to a higher standard are but of a few of the qualities society expects from every military officer. These graduates have demonstrated that they possess these qualities. This class has excelled in many endeavors while at the 1st Warrant Officer Company. The Purple Hearts are graduating with a final class average of 92%. The Purple Hearts also earned the following Guide-On Streamers: Outstanding Sign and Outstanding Car Wash. The Purple Hearts are graduating with a class total of 90 warrant officer candidates, comprised of the following: 61 technicians and 29 aviation warrant officer candidates, which includes 64 regular Army, 17 National Guard, and 9 Army Reserve. The Purple Heart civilian education includes the following: 5 with a master's degree, 21 with a bachelor's degree, and 29 with an associate's degree. The average age in the class is 30 years old, with a candidate as young as 19 years old and a candidate as old as 45 years old. Allow me to introduce the team responsible for training the Purple Hearts: the Senior TAC Officer, Chief Warrant Officer 3C Fuentes, the Primary TAC Officer, Chief Warrant Officer 2 Promotable Chin, the TAC Team, Chief Warrant Officer 2 Elam, Chief Warrant Officer 2 Junker, the Company First Sergeant Smith, the Senior Mentor, Chief Warrant Officer 4 Montanero, and the Warrant Officer Candidate School Course Director, Chief Warrant Officer 3 Henry. Please join me in a round of applause for this outstanding team. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce today's guest speaker, Chief Warrant Officer 5 Jennifer Wolf. Chief Warrant Officer 5 Wolf is a native of Dewey, Oklahoma, and enlisted in the United States Army Reserve as a 71 Lima administrative clerk. She rose through the enlisted ranks to Staff Sergeant before attending the Warrant Officer Candidate School here at Fort Novosel, Alabama. After completing Warrant Officer Candidate School, she graduated from the Warrant Officer Basic Course as a 420 Alpha, specializing as an Adjutant General Warrant Officer. Chief Warrant Officer 5 Wolf has served in several challenging assignments throughout her career within the personnel and finance branches, working with both active and reserve components. Some of those assignments includes the following: Human Resource Command, HRC, Special Operations Command, Executive Officer to the Army Reserve, Command Chief Warrant Officer, CCWO, Secretary of the Joint Staff at the White House Communications Agency, and Senior Warrant Officer Advisor at both TRADOC and Doctrine Command and Office of Chief of Army Reserve. Her civilian education includes the following: Certificate in Public Health Structure, a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education, a Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction, a Doctor of Education specializing in Curriculum and Instruction. While serving part-time in the Army Reserve, she also worked as an elementary school teacher in Oklahoma and in Florida. Additionally, Chief Warrant Officer 5 Wolf deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Currently, she serves as the Chief of Academic Development at the Warrant Officer Career College here at Fort Novosel, Alabama. With over 40 years of dedicated service, Chief Warrant Officer 5 Wolf received numerous awards and decorations and have completed all of her professional military education. She proudly follows in her father's footsteps as a Chief Warrant Officer 5, continuing a legacy of dedication, leadership, and service. Her full biography can be found in today's program. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Chief Warrant Officer 5, Jennifer Wolf.
Hello, purple class. How are you? You looking, all right, you're looking very stellar today. So I'm going to tell the audience, and maybe the aviators who weren't in my mentorship yesterday, that I spent about 2 hours yesterday morning with purple class and decided that I didn't want just to say the same things today that I said yesterday. So I can pretend that I was following our candidate-led strategy that Ms. Bennett and her team implemented, but really, I just wanted to ask the candidates what they want me to talk about today. So I got some cards from them, and I'm going to try to do justice in my responses. A lot of this is for family and friends who watched the video, but maybe that was your exposure to Warrant Officer Candidate School. So this is a new one for me, and I hope it goes well. So one of the first questions, or first topics, was how big an achievement this is. And that's an understatement. I'm not sure I can do justice. You saw the video, you saw the Warrant Officer Candidate School video, you heard from Colonel McHugh. I want you, if you don't have experience with Warrant Officer Candidate School, I want you to try to envision purgatory, but with the knowledge that you're going to come out as an officer in the United States Army. It's a tough program that is designed to test, as Colonel McHugh said, the strength, the inner fortitude, the cognitive ability to determine if we want these officers leading our warfighters, because that's what it all comes down to, is when we fight and win the nation's wars, can these people wearing that shiny dot lead us into victory? So Warrant Officer Candidate School has some things that you might think are silly. Yes, maybe. But it's all for a reason. And these candidates, 90 candidates, did you say? 90? Passed. And it's not easy. We don't just let you pass. So I'm extremely proud of you. I saw you on training day 3, and now here you are, and I have every conviction that you're going to do great things for the Army, and I appreciate that you went through this to come out on the other side. Okay, then I had a question, speak on how important the warrant officers are to the force and how many there are. So the warrant officer has a critical function, and I kind of liken it to a body part, an organ. So we are the legs of an organization. Yeah, a person can get along without legs, but they're much more effective if they have legs and they can go run off and solve a problem. So warrant officers are that critical piece that helps ensure the commander can get done what he or she knows needs to be done. So these almost officers have decided that being an NCO is incredibly important. Absolutely, we have a whole bunch of them back here, and we need NCOs. We need soldiers. But those critical few serve as warrant officers because warrant officers can do what the regular officer can't do, whether that's because their role is different, they have different demands on them. The NCOs aren't designed to be the true technical expert. So these 90 people here are going to fill this role in a unit that's critical and yet is a bridge between the officer and the enlisted. So it's complex, and guys, you know, every time I talk to you, I told you, being a warrant officer is the most challenging job because you have to watch out for your enlisted enlisted kids. You have to take care of them, but you have to take care of your little lieutenants and your colonels, right? So it's complicated. And then you have to take care of yourself. So work-life balance, right? So when you leave here, decide who you're going to be and what you're going to bring, as a warrant officer. And then as far as numbers, people, the Army green suiter, so military, is about 1 million. There are about 1 million of us. Less than 1%. Less than 10,000. Fewer than 10,000 warrant officers are in all three components, active, guard, reserve. That's not very many, and that's why there's a lot of responsibility on you, because you're going to probably be, unless you're aviation, you're going to be one of one. And aviators, guys, not just anybody can fly, right? So take your training seriously. Be that expert. Be that person that is strategic and, oh, my phone's ringing, and doesn't just do their technical job, right? You need to do more, and that's what we expect of you, okay? And Ms. Bennett, by the way, said I could have 45 minutes, so they laughed. Oh, gee. Okay, next question for family members, what a warrant officer is for, or what a warrant officer is. And I think I just talked about that. I'm sorry, it's a duplicate, but just suffice it to say that warrant officers we are leaders, absolutely, but our role isn't necessarily to stand up and make decisions for an entire unit, like a colonel, like a regular officer. We make decisions for our technical section. So you're gonna see that your warrant officer here is highly engaged in learning very specific doctrine and regulations, because that's what we're for. Because our commanders cannot be expected to know everything. That's what we're for. Okay. Let's see. Okay, significant events. I think you saw the picture. So talk about what we learn at candidate school. All right, so y'all, you just went through capstone a couple days ago, right? That decided what you learned. But so you don't have to stand up and do this. I will tell you that candidates learn doctrine and strategy about warfighting, and then when they leave here, they go to the technical course that says, okay, your specific warfighting skills fit here. So they get the big picture at the college, the big picture of what it means to fight and win wars, and then their follow-on course says, this is how you, as a 352 November or 420 Alpha, here's how you fit in specifically. So this is Common Core. This is every branch of warrant officer is here at the college, and then off they go to their own individual places like Fort Jackson or Fort Huachuca. Let's see, influences we possess, highlight our new capabilities and performance. Okay, so your warrant officer is going to make a huge impact. I just want you to know that. You're not going to hear a lot about it. Our moniker is the quiet professional, because we don't just talk about all the things that we do. But just know that your warrant officer going to work every day is making a huge impact that might not even be obvious, but they are oftentimes the reason the unit is successful and can meet its mission. So, critical role. Okay, one thing you notice that was different in Purple class. So, I unfortunately don't get to spend a lot of time in the classroom with y'all, right? I was there for ICOLA, and then spend time on your foot march and your run. But what I noticed about you is you are a happy group. So, and it really stood out. You're just cheerful and engaged and responsive. And that's not to say that other classes aren't. But I was thinking, I don't know how to couch this. You stood out, and your your primary TAC, Mr. Chin, as an individual stands out as well, as does your TAC team. So I appreciate who I got to spend time with during those few engagements we had, and I think that's going to that's going to carry you through the rest of your career. I think you're just going to be a naturally happy group, and that's important. And I'm coming up on, okay, so just going to talk real quickly, women in leadership. So, and I'm not going to dwell on this too much, but to the females, I will say, and I would say it on the foot march, find those young females, because we are often overlooked. We can be dismissed because we may think or act differently than the norm. So be sure that you are investing in your young female soldiers and that you are investing in yourselves. And guys, it may be tempting to look for someone who can physically do more, but remember that if we're in the Army, we obviously have something to offer. And it's crucial that you welcome all perspectives, whether they're male, female, 18 years old, or we had a 19-year-old, I think, right? 19 years old, easy to brush off that person. Don't do that. Easy to brush off the old people, because I'm not a boomer, but I'm almost a boomer. So don't brush off anyone because of how they look or how they speak, okay? And career milestone. Okay, so this one, I told them I have now 154 days till I retire. So they said, what's my perspective at this point in my career? Bottom line, I wouldn't do a thing differently. And it took me a while to say that. But just be sure that everything you're doing is aligned with where you want to be. So when you get to, to my point, 42 years, if hopefully you choose to stay in that, or you can stay in that long, it starts today. Where you're going to end up in 40 years or however long starts today. So make those choices that will get you where you see yourself. Okay? And then lastly, why we do what we do. So I talk to you a lot on the foot marches. That's so hard to say, foot march, about your why. Don't forget your why. It's what carries you through every day. Your why are you here, is going to evolve. It should grow, and it should be more impactful in everything you do. So if you're doing this for your family, okay, y'all out there, a lot of them are here because of you. And I've been talking to them a lot, but I want to talk to the family to understand the role you have played. Whether you meant to, you did. And you got this person here, and you did an amazing job. And no one gets where they are by themselves. So thank you for getting your person here, and keep them on the right track, right? It takes a village. Okay, so thanks, guys. Have fun. Don't walk out after you get the oath, because it's fun to get pinned, all right? So with that, I'm going to say thank you and have a great day.
On behalf of Class 25-07 and the 1st Warrant Officer Company, the Leadership Awardee is presenting the guest speaker with a token of appreciation. The oath of office is the most significant event of this graduation ceremony. The candidates have worked very hard to reach this moment. The American people have put their faith and trust into these soon-to-be warrant officers. The candidates are swearing or affirming their true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States. I ask all service members in uniform, please stand for the oath of office. Please be seated. The Distinguished Honor Graduate Award is named after CW3 retired Doris Allen, a warrant officer who has set herself apart by making significant contributions to our nation and her community. Her biography can be found in today's program. The recipient of this award is Warrant Officer Cade M. Wolf, with a final course average of 98%. Warrant Officer Wolf is receiving a Warrant Officer Career College Certificate of Achievement from the guest speaker, CW5 Wolf. He is also being recognized with a plaque by the company commander, CW4 Bennett. Finally, Warrant Officer Wolf will receive a plaque and a $100 check from the Military Officer Association of America, presented by CW5 retired Randy Godfrey. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Honor graduates must achieve an overall average within the top 5% for academic honors within Warrant Officer Candidate School. The following warrant officers are honor graduates: Warrant Officer Amanda Drinkwater, Warrant Officer Dominic Taruno, and Warrant Officer James Witten. Warrant Officer Drinkwater, Warrant Officer Taruno, and Warrant Officer Witten are receiving a Certificate of Achievement from the Primary TAC Officer, CW2 Promotable Chin, the Senior Mentor, CW4 Montanero, and the Course Director, CW3 Henry. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. To achieve Commandant's List, graduates must achieve an overall average within the top 20% for academic honors within Warrant Officer Candidate School. The following warrant officers on the Commandant's List are Warrant Officer Willow Bailey, Warrant Officer Jasmine Contreras, Warrant Officer Sean Grimm, Warrant Officer Will Hamilton, Warrant Officer Ryan Hartley, Warrant Officer Hunter Hemingway, and Warrant Officer Philippe Hersfeld Barton. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. The following warrant officers also on the Commandant's List are Warrant Officer Nicholas Lepkowski, Warrant Officer Ethan McFarland, Warrant Officer Noelia Morera, Warrant Officer Brittany Robinson, Warrant Officer Ayla Toscano, and Warrant Officer Brendan Zelansky. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. The Iron Warrant Award is given to the warrant officer who has the highest overall average on all performance evaluations during the course. The Iron Warrant Award is named after medically retired warrant officer Anthony Ratatic, a warrant officer who has persevered in the face of adversity. His biography can be found in today's program. The recipient of this award is Warrant Officer Ray W. Fisher. Warrant Officer Fisher is receiving a Warrant Officer Career College Certificate of Achievement from the Primary TAC Officer, CW2 Promotable Chin. He is also on the Commandant's list. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. The Leadership Awardee was identified by his peers. Through his exceptional leadership and unique attributes, he encouraged personal growth and professional development. The Leadership Award is named after CW4 retired William Roof, a warrant officer who was deeply inspirational and innovative. His biography can be found in today's program. The recipient of this award is Warrant Officer James M. Leland. Warrant Officer Leland is receiving a Warrant Officer Career College Certificate of Achievement from the Company Commander CW4 Bennett. He is also being recognized with a plaque by the guest speaker, CW5 Wolf. Additionally, Warrant Officer Leland will receive a plaque and a $100 check from the Military Officer Association of America, presented by CW5 retired Randy Godfrey. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Please join me in a round of applause for these outstanding warrant officers. The remainder of the class will receive their Warrant Officer 1 rank in alphabetical order. Please hold all applause. Warrant Officer Aguilar, Warrant Officer Allen, Warrant Officer Apolinal, Warrant Officer Benham, Warrant Officer Bonner, Warrant Officer Bowen, and Warrant Officer Buendia. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer Carita Cintron, Warrant Officer Carney, Warrant Officer Chadwell, Warrant Officer Collado, Warrant Officer Cordero, Warrant Officer Cordova, and Warrant Officer Cavalier. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer De Los Reyes, Warrant Officer Dewey, Warrant Officer DeCesare, Warrant Officer Druin, Warrant Officer Easterlin, Warrant Officer Forbes, and Warrant Officer Garman. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer Garza, Warrant Officer Hall, Warrant Officer Hightower, Warrant Officer Holsworth, Warrant Officer Holtze, Warrant Officer Howard, and Warrant Officer Jordan. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer Charistis, Warrant Officer Khalil, Warrant Officer King, Warrant Officer Kraus, Warrant Officer Lambert, Warrant Officer Mangus, and Warrant Officer McWilliams. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer Millsaps, Warrant Officer Mitchell, Warrant Officer Olenek, Warrant Officer Orozco, Warrant Officer Osborne, Warrant Officer Pagan, and Warrant Officer Palafox. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer Park, Warrant Officer Plummer, Warrant Officer Prentice, Warrant Officer Rye, Warrant Officer Ramirez, Warrant Officer Randall, and Warrant Officer Ratcliffe. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer Reaper, Warrant Officer Roche, Warrant Officer Robinson, Warrant Officer Rodriguez, Warrant Officer Rodriguez Lopez, Warrant Officer Root, and Warrant Officer Ross. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer Sanchez Fonseca, Warrant Officer Shudek, Warrant Officer Simcoe, Warrant Officer Slayball, Warrant Officer Stacy, Warrant Officer Sigolski, and Warrant Officer Sylvester. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Warrant Officer Tellick, Warrant Officer Thurman, Warrant Officer Tucker, Warrant Officer Washington, Warrant Officer Watson, Warrant Officer Wiest, Warrant Officer Williams, and Warrant Officer Wilson. Please come forward and pin your warrant officer. Please join me in a round of applause for these outstanding warrant officers. Class 25-07, on your feet. At this time, I ask that all soldiers, past and present, please stand and join us in reciting the Soldier's Creed and remain standing for the playing of the Army song. Purple Hearts, before you are dismissed for the final time, remember the warrior ethos are deeply rooted in the Soldier's Creed, which states,
I am an American soldier. I am a warrior, member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I am a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and
primary TAC officer, CW2 promotable Chin, will dismiss the class to conclude today's ceremony.
Class, it's been an amazing 5 weeks. Y'all grew from being a little to being an actual warrant officer today. Congratulations and WOCS. Good job. Class dismissed.